Oh, wow. What is this? Oh, my old camera. Does this still work? In this episode, I cut a board, get a 6-degree burn, and invent a whole new way to build resonators. Hey, welcome back. My name's James. I took about a year off of YouTube here to work on a really big project, and that's winding down now. How have you guys been? You know, bleep bloop it down there in the doodly-doo so I can see what's going on with you guys. So I think in this video, we're going to do a few things. We've got a couple of resonators to repair. It's wild to me. These two resonators came in on almost the same day, a day apart, in pretty much identical cases, and I think they need very similar repairs. So could be a challenge for me to get the right neck back onto the correct guitar and back to the right person. We'll see how that goes. What else are we going to do? I'm going to introduce you guys to a new build. Actually, let's just get into that new build right now because I'm already a day into it and I'd like to get you guys caught up right now. Do you guys remember when we built Paul Weldon's guitar? This beautiful thing right here. Well, we had to make a maple template to be able to construct the body. Well, that blanket really didn't serve a purpose other than to use it as a tool that once we were done, there was no need for it anymore. It's a shame to waste that thing. It's been kicking around here forever. I've decided the time has come to do something with it, and what better thing to do with it than to make an electric resonator out of it. I threw it on the CNC machine and went off to work on other things. When I came back, that wasn't more sawdust than I've ever made in a day, I think. In fact, it was enough sawdust I probably could have just poured super glue on the thing and made another resonator out of it. That was crazy. Okay, after the dust settled, that cleaned up real nice. It's going to be a really cool electric resonator guitar, I think. I was excited to see that hole for the cone in there. So this used to be a template. Let's call it a body blank now because it's a heavy body blank, but it's no longer a template. You know what I mean? So I don't know what kind of pickup I want to put in this yet, but I know I want options in the future to put whatever pickup I'm feeling in there at the moment. So, and this thing's a little bit on the heavy side, so let's do some work to the top half of the guitar there, see if we can figure out what we're going to do for pickup spots, and maybe take a little bit of weight out of it. Okay, that's 11% better. Let's move on to binding, which means we got to get out the tool that generates more funny comments out of all the other tools I use, my homemade binding bender. Let's get it out here and get it heating up. I haven't yet installed the auto sensing temperature device on it yet, so occasionally you gotta shut her down because she gets a little over hot. I really like the big pipe on the top of it. I can bend different radiuses with it, and it also doesn't get as hot as some of the other pipes, being that it's up top, which is why this thing has 2 levels. First side complete, that went well. Second side complete. And look at that, I've even started roughing out a neck. Okay, I think we're ready to start focusing on the pickguard here. So I drew up this first one. Cut it out on the CNC. Put it on the guitar. Drew up another one, cut it out on the bandsaw, put it on the guitar. Hey, that's not bad. Okay, I think you guys are pretty much caught up on that build with where I'm at right now. That pickguard shape may not be the final, it's probably not the final material for it, but I kind of like the way that one looks and the way it sits on the guitar, and it seems okay, but let me know if you guys have any ideas on that. Sometimes you guys come up with great stuff, so that could maybe be improved. Okay, so let's just get into these repairs now. Let's get them out of these cases and maybe tear them down a little bit and start sealing what we got to deal with. Let's start by putting some labels on these things because I wasn't kidding when I said I'll ship it back to the wrong person with the wrong neck on it. Okay, let's sort these out. Okay, what are we going to name the first one? Let's name it Ernie. And we'll name the second one Verl. There you go, Ernie. There you go, Verl. Okay, let's hope Ernie goes back to LA and let's hope Verl goes back to Mississippi. Okay, Verl, what do we got? What's life been like for you? Oh, Verl's pretty cool. It looks great. Why do we need to fix this? I mean, the action's a little high. It's not terrible. I see the high E string is falling off of the biscuit, but that's no biggie. Oh, here's Verl's trouble. Verl has a crack in the heel of his neck. I'm not feeling too bad about Verl here. This looks pretty simple so far. He mentioned something about maybe the nut might have some troubles. Not very polished and refined, but I think it's not bad. Fret ends feel good. Maybe not down here, but they feel good all up through here. I don't see excessive wear on the frets or anything. That fret looks like it's not seated perfectly and it's got some weirdness to it. Those need a little bit of polish and cleanup, but that's no big deal. Okay, Verl doesn't have any markings on the headstock, so I don't exactly know what we're dealing with yet. It definitely looks like the action's pretty high through here. It's really high. That should give you an idea. Oh, that is my favorite tuning for sure. Now, you can maybe see, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but I definitely see a crack all the way across the heel right there. It looks like it's okay. It's actually a decent joint on the body. It's not terrible. There's a little bit of damage right there. On the other side, when you look here, it doesn't fit the body as nicely on this side. And you can definitely see that crack goes all the way back to where the body is. So I think we need to get the neck out of this thing and start seeing what we see where it meets the body, and let's just investigate the neck stick. Yeah, honestly, this one looks pretty straightforward. I shouldn't have said that. It's probably going to turn into a nightmare now, but I don't think so. Honestly, it doesn't look bad. I'm hoping this is just a finished crack, but we'll know more here in a minute when we get the neck out. Okay, let's take Verl apart and see what we got to deal with. I'm starting to wonder if somebody else has been in here already or if this is really how they come. What makes me think maybe somebody's been in here before is when you look at the 5 dots where the screws go through into the neck, it looks like they've already been out before and they reused them and glued them back in, but maybe not that well. All the other dots look really good and the quality's there. This may not be the first time poor old Verl's been, dismembered. Okay, so he mentioned that maybe the nut, I am kind of agreeing with him. This is probably not original. There's a lot of pretty rough tooling marks on it. It's not very well polished, and I'm going to say it's way over super glued for what anybody would do from the factory. That looks a little bit sketchy for me to get off, but usually you can just take a block of wood and just give it a quick knock, a nice sharp little whack, and it'll come off of there without damaging anything. So let's just see how much tension's on this truss rod, if there's any in there at all. Oh, I don't think Verl has hardly any tension on his truss rod, so that's a good sign. It's got a little bit, but not very much. It just had a couple of small spots of glue. This side had a lot, but there was just a dot. Somebody tried to do the right thing there. That's nice. These slots do not look very professional. Oh yeah, Verl's got some back issues. It's tough when you get old, your back just goes bad sometimes. Okay, what are we feeling like? Sheer fabrics, lightweight fabrics, medium weight fabric, permanent press. I don't know what any of that means. Oh, there's a high. That's of course what we want. I'm gonna grab some foil to protect the guitar while that warms up. Verl, you're not hot enough yet. Okay, those came out with no damage. And they're like filled with tobacco or something. This screw's bent. That could indicate it took a pretty hard knock. I don't know. This one's bent. That one's straight. That one's straight. And that one's straight. Are we glued in, Verl? Is that what's going on here? I will say Verl is not excited about giving up his neck. I mean, I guess I wouldn't be either. There we go. Okay. That thing was definitely glued to the body with something, which kind of surprises me. I don't feel like it needs glue there. Okay, everything's pretty good here. I don't see any real issues with the body. Nothing's bent or dented on the top. Nothing's caved in. The hole here is nice. It doesn't look like the neck took a big hit and bent this down or bent this out. Or I'm feeling pretty good about the body's status. No worries there for me. Can we see this finish crack on this side of the heel? I do. Maybe somebody just glued this heel on, like it broke off at one point, and then didn't do a repair on the finish, because there's definitely a glue line there. I can see where that thing's been glued before. Okay, so I pulled and poked and pressed and everything I could on the heel of Earl's neck just to see how well that repair where they glued that heel back on is. And it's really strong. Somebody did a really nice job getting that back on there. So I don't feel like we need to tear that thing apart and re-glue it or make a new heel or anything weird like that. I think we can leave that heel on there. So I sent a video to Verl's owner and we came up with our plan. We're just gonna do a finish repair on the neck so that you can't see that crack in there anymore. And then we're gonna fix all the fretwork and we're gonna fix the back bow in the neck. We're gonna get it sitting in the body perfect where the action's just right, make this thing play like a dream, and this one will be a wrap. So let's get started on that. What I'm noticing is the reason this thing didn't fit very well against the body is because they had so much finish built up on this edge and it was really rough and poorly sanded that it just made it look like it didn't fit against the body. So before I started sanding this, I was working on fitment, making sure it just fit flush against the body. And it turns out it does. It's just, it looked terrible because of the finish buildup on there. So we're working our way through that. Gonna sand this all down, gonna get it good. And I think this thing's gonna come together real nice. Okay, Verl's fretwork here is pretty much done. I just need to polish them when I polish the neck after we do the finish work on the back of the neck. One of Verl's dots came out with the tape when I took it off, so looks like none of those were glued in very well. I rounded these edges a little bit on it just to clean up. A lot of it was just right on the edge. There was a lot of marks. It's a lot better than it was, and the fretwork's really good now. Everything's level and even, so I think we'll move on. Okay, so I've got my color mixed in my gun here already, and I ended up using some brown pigment just so that it's not so translucent because it's got a glue line on there, so it can't be translucent. And then it's a combination of a little bit of black, not very much, a couple drops, quite a bit of tobacco brown, and probably about 4 or 5 drops of red mahogany, because there's definitely a red tint to this neck. So I feel like my color match is pretty much spot on right now. So let's get this thing sprayed and see what we think. Okay, so we're gonna let this sink here for a little while. We'll give it a quick finish sand and buff it, and we'll buff the front with the frets, and we can start reassembly on this thing and getting the action set up. Okay, Verl's pretty well dialed in here. We got the neck back on, we got the action all set up. You saw me working on it in the time lapse. This thing plays pretty nice now. I got the nut all fixed up, fixed all the slots on it, and got it all polished and rounded over, and that's real clean, real nice now. The one thing I'm kind of bummed about is that the headstock has kind of all these little, I don't know, there's marks in there. Hopefully you can see them. I didn't refinish the headstock, so those are still in there. Kind of a bummer since the back of the neck is so good. Frets are all polished now. That's came out real nice. The fretwork's really good. So I'm just waiting on an order now from StewMac for tuners, because Verl's getting new tuners. And I also ordered these size dots to replace the dots that came out. Action's real nice now. We got, you know, it's all pretty good. I went for 0.06 on the action gauge. I'm gonna call the owner and make sure that's what he's after. Okay, this thing went really, really well. Okay, Verl's really good. But let's take a quick look at Ernie so we know what's coming next week, because I think Ernie's a much bigger challenge than Verl was. So let's check out Ernie real quick. Okay, Ernie, what do we got? What do you got, Ernie? What are you? Here we go. Well, Ernie, what are you, Ernie? What's going on? How can we be friends if you won't let me? Oh, there we go. Whoa! Ernie's really cool. It's a Republic. This is a nice guitar. Oh, dang. I already see some big damage. Let's just pretend that we didn't see that right now. We'll tackle that tomorrow.